All right, my top 20 NBA players of the 90s. Without a doubt, I'm going to go with number 20, Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson started off his career with the Charlotte Hornets, was the 91-92 Rookie of the Year. Had some back problems, and then eventually found himself on the Knicks. Eventually, he helped lead the Knicks in the 1999 NBA Finals. So yeah, one of the best power forwards of the 90s. Without a doubt, if he didn't get injured, I think he would have been one of the greatest NBA players of all time. That's just my opinion. Number 19, I'm going to go with Grant Hill. Obviously, Grant Hill has been really hurt by injuries, especially in the 2000s where he was severely hurt by injuries. However, in the 90s, he was a great all-around player, one of the best all-around players, very exciting to watch, very entertaining, could get to the lane anytime he wanted to, put up big assist numbers, he rebounded the ball, and he actually also scored a lot of points. That's Grant Hill from the Detroit Pistons of the 90s at number 19. Number 18, I'm going to go with Dikembe Mutombo, one of the best defensive players of the 90s. I believe he won several NBA Defensive Player of the Year awards. Helped lead the Denver Nuggets past the Seattle Supersonics, the first number 8 seed to upset a number 1 seed. So that's Dikembe Mutombo at number 18. Number 17, I'm going to go Chris Webber. Chris Webber was pretty much dominant from like 99 to 2002. Those were his best years, in my opinion. So, he kind of got screwed, but his early stuff from the 90s is still good enough to make the countdown. It was the 1994 NBA Rookie of the Year with the Golden State Warriors. However, when he got traded to the Washington Bullets, he put up big numbers, but he really didn't accomplish anything in a very difficult Eastern Conference. Number 16, I'm going to go with Alonzo Mourning. Started off his career with the Charlotte Hornets. Helped lead them to the NBA playoffs in 1993. However, things didn't work out with Charlotte. Was traded to the Miami Heat in 1995. Made the Miami Heat a legit contender for the NBA championship. Led them to the Eastern Conference Finals in 1997, and led them to the best record in the league in 1999, where he was the MVP candidate. Number 15, I'm going to go with Shawn Kemp, one of the best slam dunkers, one of the most entertaining players of the 90s. Was on a lot of those teams when the Seattle Supersonics won multiple 60-win game seasons. The Sonics won 60 games, a variety of seasons. Seattle was one of the most consistent teams of the 90s, despite the fact that their playoff success was not that good. Seattle did make it to the finals in 1996, and a lot of people would say that Shawn Kemp probably put up better numbers against the Chicago Bulls more so than any other player. Has. So he could be very proud of that. Number 14, I'm going to go with Latrell Sprewell. Sprewell started off his career with the Golden State Warriors, had some great seasons there, despite never really taking them far in the playoffs. Latrell scored over 20 points for several seasons. It wasn't until he made it to the New York Knicks. Well, first of all, let me say this. He had an incident with P.J. Carlissimo, if you can remember, in 1999. He actually choked his coach in practice. So he was suspended for a whole year, came to the Knicks, helped lead them to the 1995 NBA Finals, where they were an 8th seed and made it all the way to the finals. Latrell Sprewell, definitely the most explosive and vital part to that, most important part to that championship run of the New York Knicks in 1999. Number 13, I'm going to go with Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler, one of the most explosive players in the early 90s, was pretty much on par with Michael Jordan. It was actually a debatable question about who was the better two-guard, Michael Jordan or Clyde Drexler. Obviously, Jordan shut everyone up with that debate eventually, but Clyde Drexler, 1990 and 1992, he helped lead the Portland Trail Blazers to NBA Finals appearances despite losing. 1995 helped lead the Houston Rockets, was traded to the Houston Rockets, and really got them back into playoff form and helped lead them to the NBA championship in 1995. So that's Clyde Drexler. Number 12, I'm going to go with Penny Hardaway, Anthony Hardaway, one of the best players of the 90s, one of the best point guards of the 90s. Was like kind of reminiscent of Magic Johnson, like 6'8", 6'9", could handle the ball, very explosive, very exciting, could dunk over pretty much anyone. However, injuries did set him back. He helped lead the Orlando Magic to the NBA Finals in 1995. That's Penny Hardaway. Number 11, going to go with Reggie Miller, one of the most exciting and entertaining players of the 90s. Put on a lot of playoff heroics against the New York Knicks. Reggie Miller, pretty much known as the Knick Killer, put on that great performance in 1994. 25 points in the fourth quarter against the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. So many great moments, even against the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. Reggie never really won the championship, but consistently carried the Indiana Pacers to the Eastern Conference Finals on several occasions. Number 10, I'm going to go with Shaquille O'Neal of the Orlando Magic. Shaq with the Magic was very athletic. You know, he was pretty much known as a monster. The 1992-93 NBA Rookie of the Year was the first guy. I mean, one of the guys that really brought down the backboard. He actually, when he dunked, he actually brought the whole basket down. I mean, the guy was just amazing, very marketable for the NBA. Pretty much the face of the NBA after Michael Jordan retired. You know, he took a lot of criticism in the 90s, though. I mean, the Orlando Magic got swept by the Houston Rockets in the 1995 NBA Finals, and then they got swept by the Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals the following season. So, and then he played the latter part of the season with the Los Angeles Lakers. Number 9, I'm going to go with Gary Payton. I'm sorry, the latter part of the 90s with the Los Angeles Lakers. Number 9, I'm going to go with Gary Payton. Without a doubt, one of the best defensive point guards of the 90s. Pretty much the most important part of the Seattle Supersonics' success in the 90s. They won several seasons where they won 60 games. Very consistent team in the regular season. However, they never really got done in the playoffs, but Gary Payton, a great defensive player. His nickname was the Glove because he was such a great defender. That's Gary Payton at number 9. Number 8, I'm going to go with John Stockton. Stockton, one of the most complete NBA careers. I believe he led the NBA, in NBA history, the leader in steals and assists. Amazing. It led the Utah Jazz to NBA Finals appearances in 1997 and 98. Obviously, he led the league in assists for several seasons and led the league in steals in the 90s as well for several seasons. Number 7, I'm going to go with Patrick Ewing, one of the most consistent centers of the 90s, one of the best shooting centers. A great jump shot for a big man. You know, carried the Knicks to several 60-win seasons. 1993, he was a legit MVP contender in a very tough MVP race. 1994, he helped lead the Knicks to the NBA championship where they lost to the Houston Rockets in the NBA Finals. And without a doubt, you know, Ewing, pretty much the face of the New York Knicks, probably the greatest New York Knick of all time. Number 6, I'm going to go with David Robinson. Spent his career with the San Antonio Spurs. I believe he led the league in steals actually one season. He was a great defender. I believe he won several NBA Defensive Player of the Year awards. Was a great scorer. He led the NBA in scoring in 93-94, I believe. And then he won the NBA MVP award in the 94-95 NBA season. It took a lot of criticism, though, after he got swept by the Houston Rockets in 95. You know, him and Tim Duncan did lead the San Antonio Spurs to close off the 90s in 1999 when they won the NBA championship. They beat the Knicks in 5 games. That's David Robinson. Number 5, I'm going to go with Charles Barkley, one of the most entertaining NBA players, probably a better personality than anyone in the WWE right now. That's Charles Barkley. The 1993 NBA MVP, helped lead the Phoenix Suns in the 1993 NBA Finals, helped lead the Houston Rockets to the Western Conference Finals in 1997. A great rebounder. He could pass the ball. He could score. He could pretty much do it all. And actually, he was the leading scorer on the 1992 USA Olympic team, the Dream Team. He was the leading scorer on that team. Number 4, I'm going to go with Karl Malone, arguably the best power forward of the 90s. Really a powerhouse. He was the first guy to really combine strength and finesse. Pretty much did it better than anyone else. The 1997 NBA MVP as well as the 1999 MVP. He helped lead the Jazz to finals appearances in 97 and 98. And without a doubt, like I said, probably the best power forward of the 90s. Number 3, I'm going to go with Scottie Pippen, one of the best all-around players in NBA history. You know, led the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA championships. Without him on that team, they probably don't get it done. 1994, when Jordan retired after Jordan retired for 2 seasons in '94, Pippen had one of his best seasons. He was the NBA All-Star MVP. Probably should have won the MVP award that season. You know, the Chicago Bulls are pretty much the same. Had the same record when Michael Jordan was there. I mean, it was pretty much the same record after Jordan left, because Scottie Pippen played at such a high level. Without a doubt, you know, Pippen's numbers look like this: like 17 points a game, 7 or 8 assists, 7 or 8 rebounds a game. Just phenomenal numbers. That's Scottie Pippen at number 3. Number 2, I'm going to go Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem, without a doubt, the best center of the 90s by far. I mean, he won 2 NBA championships to prove it in 94 and 95. Was the 93-94 NBA MVP. Pretty much dominated the NBA after Michael Jordan retired. So that's Hakeem at number 2. And number 1, I'm going to go with Michael Jordan. I don't think I need to say anything about this, but that pretty much